The President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Lieutenant General Seretse Khama Ian Khama. Your Majesty King Letsie, the King of Lesotho. Your Excellencies, heads of states and governments here present. The former President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Mr. Festus Mogae. Vice President Honorable Moketse Masisi. Honorable Ministers here present, members of the Masire family, fellow mourners, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends. The last time we came to Kanye, we came to mourn the passing on of Mrs. Gladys Masire. This was in 2013, not so long ago. Today it is once again grief that has compelled us to present ourselves here to attend the graveside of a man whose life and deeds commended him to our hearts, Se KETUMILE Masire, the former President of the Republic of Botswana. We come in tears because we feel robbed in losing the man who lies here before us. A leader who was such an asset to us in so many ways. Se KETUMILE Masire. He was a dear comrade, dear brother, and dear friend. We know that to his family, including his extended family, the level of closeness was naturally more than perhaps ours. He was the only witness to the depth of character that KETUMILE reflected, commanding respect without ever demanding it. But we too were made to feel like his family, because he opened his life to us with a generosity of spirit that was so much a part of his character. Your sad loss is our sad loss. We come in tears because the man we are here to bid farewell is a man who often rolled out the welcome mat to us, regardless of the matter at hand. His ear was always willing to listen, whether the issue to be discussed was weighty or light. We come in tears because the man we have lost was virtuous and humble. I know that I am not the only witness to the depth of character that KETUMILE reflected, commanding respect without ever demanding it. Your Excellency, The death of Sir KETUMILE Masire has not only robbed Botswana of a great leader, but has also deprived Southern Africa and our entire continent of a great statesman who served with valor and honor. It gave us both pride and confidence to work with him as a neighbor, colleague, and friend. Your Excellency, the late Sir KETUMILE Masire's resoluteness in fighting for the betterment of the people of Botswana will forever remain etched in our minds, and I'm sure in the mind of each and every Botswana. His persistence and perseverance in the fight for the economic development of Botswana helped in laying the foundations of the rapid economic transformation that the country continues to experience today. Your Excellencies, the people of Zimbabwe will forever remember the sterling role that the late former President Masire played in the liberation struggles of our region. When he took over as President of Botswana in July 1980, the liberation struggles in South Africa and Namibia were at their peak. President Masire would not be intimidated by the might of the apartheid army into submission as Botswana continued to render assistance to the liberation movements of those countries. I have fond recollections of working closely with him in the formative stages of the Southern African Development Coordination Conference, which gave rise to our SADC. Work with him alongside other colleagues to lay the foundation stones for the integration of our region. His dedication, energy, and organizational ability were sources of inspiration to all of us and contributed significantly to the success enjoyed by SADC today. It was he who made Botswana the headquarters of SADC. He fought for it. Your Excellency, even after retirement, the late former President Masire continued to be a servant of his people and of humanity as he traversed the entire length and breadth of the African continent in pursuit of peace, peaceful coexistence, and development. We all remember his labors as facilitator of the inter-Congolese dialogue during the late 1990s. And of course, his labors, and I was alongside him as we tried to get Renamo and the government of Mozambique into some agreement in December 1992. So the agreement that's so Renamo being accepted and working alongside the government was really negotiated with assistance that we gave to the president of Mozambique at that time. We all remember his labors as facilitator, not only as facilitator of the inter-Congolese dialogue during the late 1990s and his role as chairman of the 7-member panel of eminent persons commissioned by the OAU to investigate the 1994 genocide in Rwanda, but also as playing a part in the other countries as he was sent on missions, various missions by SADC and the African Union. Even on this somber occasion, let us lift the veil that grief has placed on our faces and recognize the wonderful works of this great man. We should always cherish the legacy left for posterity. Strong commitment to the cause of achieving a stronger, more prosperous and progressive Africa. Words are all we can summon today to help us cope with our grief. We cry to God to grant us solace, to pour his balm upon our wounded hearts, and to soldier on us as we follow in his footsteps. We say to ourselves, God has his way. But sometimes his ways are too by us. Here is a man we still needed. But here is a man who had suffered the loss of his wife 4 years ago. And why should he have been taken from us? But of the Almighty, a great friend he was, personal friend to me. We discussed lots and lots of things that were our families. My family, I knew his. We talked about in our countries. And as neighbors, we even talked about our animals. Our elephants, and the elephants which are in the habit of chewing and throwing, knowing no borders. And he was saying, look after my elephants when they come to you. And I say, they are our elephants which had visited Botswana. So we went on fighting this little battle of elephants. Then finally, I said, I leave the decisions aside. Me to Okavango visit. And I saw Gary there. And really to tell us and tell the world that you're an arid desert with all these waters, this greenery in your country. Why don't you use the waters? He laughed, hilarious laugh that he had. He said, there are some people who say we must not use them for mankind, but let them be used by animals. And he was referring to the organization called CITES. I say to him, surely, in the interest of humanity, you should have these waters, used for the development of Botswana as a whole. He said, this is what we have been trying to argue with CITES, but we have not got anywhere. We had also some conspiracy. The apartheid regime continued to fight its war with Namibia, and Sam Myoma wanted assistance. He came to me and said, I think you will have better relations with President Masire. Can you go to him and whisper to him that we have weapons of higher caliber that we want to bring into our country, but we have to use Botswana. I said, fine, I'll be your messenger. And Sam, I think he's here, thought President Masire would say no. When I whispered that request, he said, yes, of course. Let them do it. And Sam was exceedingly grateful for it. They used those weapons of high caliber, and they also soon got their independence. So we really are comrades in this region of a struggle. My people used to pass through here to Zambia. Some remained here, being looked after by Chief Beroni until our independence and being given support because we needed them to be here so they could receive those we were sending to Zambia and look after them. But with the knowledge of the chief and his agreement, and actually Chief Kaberoni gave them support, gave them accommodation, and right up to the end of his life, Chief Kaberoni was a great friend of ours. But unfortunately, he died when I had not made good the request he had made when he visited us in Zimbabwe. Buy me a tractor. I still owe him a tractor. His son or his country. President Masire, we are resting a great, great man today who is a loss not just to Botswana, not just to Zimbabwe, Namibia, and not just to SADC, but to the whole African continent. And let us look at the road he has walked, and perhaps to walk it, or get our people, our children, to walk it. I'm glad you're giving him a state funeral, and I'm glad many of us who worked with him are here to bid him farewell. It's the last comradeship that he could ever enjoy wherever he is, and when he looks back, he certainly is saying, is this how much the people, other people, recognize my deeds? And I'm here not just to pay tribute on my singular behalf, but on that of my country, that of many other people in SADC who worked with him. We have lost a great leader indeed. And I want to say to Your Excellency, KETUMILE Masire was what we would call in Zimbabwe a national hero. May God rest him in perfect and eternal peace. And may God give solace to his family, his children. And may God continue to comfort us all. And I say, Once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I shall live forever with Masire in my heart. As I said, I never had a friend as close as Masire in a Sadiq. He was the closest to me. The closest to my family, my wife and his wife, great friends. May he rest in peace.
Re kopua testing, re kopua gore phutego re opele sehela se se nonohileng gato Jesu ke nne mo kgorong ke sa lontone. Jesu ke nne mo kgorong go motswe. A tla go tlere lechi.